Hello, I am Jessie the Sleepy Koala because I am Australian and perpetually tired, and I literally woke up from a nap like an hour ago, so very tired today. But as you can see, I'm in a slightly different location today with all of my autumn and Halloween decorations, which I am so excited about, by the way. I'm not used to celebrating Halloween or fall or autumn, as I would call it. It's just, Halloween isn't that big of a thing in Australia. It's such an American holiday. I would do some things with my friends, maybe, and trick-or-treating, like for really little kids, was getting a bit more common in the places I live, but I live in the middle of the city. It's not like I was in a small town. When I was in a small town, none of it happened. No one celebrated Halloween. There was barely any Halloween decorations anywhere. But when I was in Sydney, there was sometimes a little bit. The thing was, the Halloween decorations, and really any decorations in Australia, or at least in Sydney, come out way too early. But I love it. But it was very funny because it was mid-September and I was going to Target with my husband and I said, oh, we can get some Halloween decorations. And he turned to me and said, Jess, that there won't be any Halloween decorations. It's September. I'm like, what do you mean there won't be Halloween decorations? Why haven't they come out yet? They should have come out by now. But of course they didn't come out, and I got a few things right at the end of October, but it wasn't that big of a selection, and I'm hoping now that it is October that I can go a few more places and get some more Halloween decorations, because I am loving decorating and I'm loving being able to like celebrate the fall spirit, and everything just looks really nice and I've really enjoyed myself. So I would like to get some more. I have some upstairs on my bookcase that's in my background normally, but a lot of it is down here, including my pumpkins and my ghosts and my big pumpkin here. I love my big pumpkin. It's so nice. But I am not here just to talk about Halloween decorations today. Today, I am gonna do the Autumn Fall Book Challenge by Shanna the Bionic Bookworm. I initially looked at this challenge and went, I don't know if I can do this, because I was looking at the prompts and my mind went blank, or everything went to Brandon Sanderson. Because before this year, I exclusively read Brandon Sanderson for like 3 years straight. So all of my knowledge and all of my book thoughts went immediately to his books. I'm like, I can't do the entire thing as Brandon Sanderson books. That's probably not gonna be the best tag video. So I actually had to go and look at my bookshelf and research before this, because otherwise I would have no idea what to say. Question number 1 is Crisp Fall Air, a book that felt fresh and new. I read a book at the beginning of the year that I absolutely fell in love with. It's called Overraging Tides by Jennifer Ellison. I was not expecting to like this book as much. I just had a craving for some pirates. I just wanted a pirate book. And I'm going through Audible and I'm looking at all these pirate books, and there was 2 of them. There was this one and another one that I don't remember the name of, but that was basically a girl kidnapped by pirates and she has like 6 love interests, which did sound so much fun. But I looked at this one and it was female pirates on their own boat. They have these rules that men can't be on the boat, and that there's all of these rules about being part of the crew. And it sounded amazing. So I started reading that and oh my god, it was so good. Like, it wasn't very long, and initially I thought it was part of a duology, but I think it is actually a trilogy now. So the premise is that our pirates on the Lady Luck come across a ship that has been attacked, and they find survivors in the water, 2 men. And the main character, Gracie, convinces the captain to take them on board and let them live and let them stay there for a while. And it follows this insane plot where they're going hunting for this mythical object or this mythical map. I can't quite remember. I read it ages ago. And they're going to all of these different places, and there's another pirate ship that's chasing them to try and get the same thing. And it was just delightful. It was fresh and new. Like, I felt refreshed after reading this book just because it was nice and light and really, really fun to read. And I really want to read the sequels, but I think I actually want to get the physical books for these because generally I have trouble paying attention to audiobooks. So look for audiobooks where I don't have to pay a lot of attention to be immersed in the plot. And I want to be immersed in this plot. So I'm going to get the physical book. And then after getting them, I'll probably reread the first one and then keep going. But they also have the most gorgeous cover art I think I might have ever seen. And that was part of the reason that I picked up this book initially, was because the cover art is so pretty. So this book is great. The cover art is great. I highly recommend it. Female pirates on the open sea, following a mystical map. It's so good. Question number 2. Howling Winds, an ending that blew you away. I can't shut up about it, so let's just do it. Leigh Bardugo, 6 of Crows. Oh my god, the last third of this book is such a avalanche of things happening, and it's insane what they do on this heist and how they rescue this person. I loved every minute of the ending of this book. I could not believe some of the things they were doing. There's literally a moment where I'm following along, and then they do a thing. I'm like, I cannot believe you did that. But sure, you just did that. You did that thing. That is, wow, okay, and it fits with the story. This is fantastic, and it just leads to hilarious outcomes as well of what happens in different bits. I can't go into any detail because, you know, spoilers, but this book has an incredible ending, and I will shout from the rooftops to highly recommend the 6 of Crows series. I can't shut up about it. I have a review for 6 of Crows. I have 2 reviews for Crooked Kingdom, and I also have written reviews on Goodreads for both. Question number 3. Leaf Fight. A book with non-stop action. There had to be a Brandon book. There's no way I can get out of having a Brandon book in this, but I kept it to 1. This is the only Brandon book. But this is Rhythm of War. It is the 4th book in the Stormlight Archive series and came out at the end of last year. It is quite a big boy of a book, as are all of the Stormlight books. And this is the Goliath's UK International Edition. I love the cover art. There's some people that don't, but oh my god, Sam Green's cover art is just my favorite of all of the Stormlight, Cosmere, Brandon art that is out there. There are some international editions that are in different languages that have just some gorgeous cover art as well. But my god, I just fell in love with Sam Green's artwork when I first saw it. But the book, oh my god, it doesn't stop. It just goes and goes and goes, and you're pushing on adrenaline the entire time, and you get to the end and you're just exhausted because there is non-stop action in this book. It does not slow down for 1 minute. There's things that happen in the middle that you would never expect to happen in the middle of a book. But sure, of course, Brandon, let's just go with that. Let's just continue this race to try and get to the end so we can rest. But I did really like this book. I didn't like it as much as some of the other Stormlight books, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a fantastic book, because I really think it was. I'm super excited for the next book, which will end out the first half of the Stormlight Archive and will probably be completely crazy. Brandon is also known for endings that are lovely known as the Sanderlanche by the fans and fandom, and it's because he sets so many things up in the earlier parts of the books or previous books, and you get to the ending and it's like payoff, 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 one after the other. Quick, smart, it never ends, it's so good. But this book not only has that, but it just has never-ending action the entire way through. So highly recommend Stormlight Archive. They are really big books and they can be a bit difficult to get into, but at least for me, once I got halfway through the first book, it was smooth sailing. I just had to get over that initial hump of lots of really intricate world building, lots of characters, but halfway through, I figured out who the characters are that I'm actually meant to care about and follow, and much easier at that point. So I recommend the series, I recommend this book, it's great. Question number 4. Pumpkin Spice, your most anticipated read. Must say, I had never had pumpkin spice until last year or the year before, and I quite like it. I hate pumpkins. I cannot stand the taste or texture of pumpkins. But there's just something about pumpkin spice, and honestly, it might just be the connection it has and how hyped it is, but that's okay with me. I'm okay with hype things. Hype things are generally good, and sometimes they're bad, but oh well. But either way, I really like pumpkin spice, and I have had a little bit so far, and I'm going to buy a lot more pumpkin spice in the month of October from, Starbucks, because I quite like Starbucks as well. But onto the book. The book that is my most anticipated read at the moment is the manga series Uzumaki by Junji Ito. I have heard a lot about this. I've heard it's very, very good, and I found it at the library, and I wanted to do spooky October, Halloween horror things for the month of October, and I picked it up, and it says Spiral into Horror on the front cover, so of course I have to read it, but I've heard, amazing things from people on the 17 Chart Discord, so yeah, I'm super excited to read this. So there's been a slight break in this recording because I had to go and get my eyes tested, and I had dilation testing, so now I can't really read anything. So this is going to be fun to continue, but I believe in myself. I know I can get there, but hopefully the lighting hasn't changed too dramatically, because I had to reset up everything. And the sun had moved, which is very rude of it, because I liked where it was before. But that is what it does. So, continuing with the video, on to the next question. Question 5. Comfy Sweaters. A book that gave you the warm and fuzzies. The book that gave me warm and fuzzies, Chain of Iron. I adored this book. The first half of it is just a deep dive into character development and relationships, and it was gorgeous to read. I loved how well Cassandra Clare balanced that line of not going too overboard in any way, and it was a character study and looking at how these characters interact with each other and how these relationships have formed, and having the moments that are special to them and seeing how things just develop to go forward. So this book 100% gave me the warm and fuzzies. If I was looking for just a nice book to read where I just wanted to feel content, I would definitely read this one. The second half of it is much more plot focused, but definitely the first half is, oh gosh, the warm and fuzzies. They are definitely there. This book is great. I do think that this is some of Cassandra Clare's best work, and that she did so well at not going too far in the direction of character work, going too far into getting bogged down in plot. She just walked that tightrope straight down and did not falter. This is up there with Lord of Shadows as one of her best written books, and I think part of it is just, this is her most recent book. She has grown as an author and gotten better as an author, but also just the writing in this is spectacular. So highly recommend, and yeah, lots of warm and fuzzies. It is the second book in the series, so you have to read Chain of Gold first. It's worth it. It's worth getting to this one, and Chain of Gold is quite good as well. Question 6, last question. Bright colors, a cover that has either red, orange, or yellow. So I picked a book and realized that it's only the spine that has red on it, and the rest of it is black. But there's a nice red detailing on the front with the roses, with the crown, with the actual title of the book. This is 3 Dark Crowns, and despite the title having the number 3 in it, it's actually the first book in this series. I really enjoyed parts of this series, and I really disliked other parts of it and thought that they were very disappointing. But overall, I did get really into it, and I probably would recommend it to people, because everyone has different tastes, and just because my tastes were not for things that happened in this series doesn't mean other people will feel the same. It's about 3 sisters who are triplets, and they are all vying for the crown on this magical island. But the 3 sisters get separated when they are younger and are raised separately from each other by different factions that all have different powers. So you have Catherine, who is raised by poisoners, yet she does not have poisoner powers, so that's a bit of a conundrum for her. And then you've got Arsinoe, who is raised by the naturalists and have familiars and animal sidekicks and can just convene with nature. And again, she has trouble trying to get these powers because it's not something where they could have any power. They are born with a power and it just doesn't always manifest until a certain time period. The third sister is Mirabella, and she lives with the elementalists. They control the elements. She is incredibly powerful. She has manifested her elemental powers and she is damn good at using them, which is very helpful because on their 16th birthday, the three queens have to come back together and there is a fight that happens between them. And whichever queen lives becomes the queen of the island of Fenburn. And there are some fantastic scenes at the end of this book where they get to the start of this festival fight event. This book is incredibly character focused and is meant to be there as a setup for the characters to continue on in other books. I did struggle a bit because of this. I like characters, but I also need something to make me want to enjoy the characters. And this felt a bit slow, but the second book, really good. Really, really good. And all the setup that happens in this book with the characters pays off. So it's definitely worth it. And yeah, the end of this book where they finally meet to start this event that happens. Oh, the tension there. The tension was so good because all the factions dislike each other and now they're in the same place. And it was just incredible. And yeah, the second and third books, I love them so much. I did have some issues with the fourth book, but books 2 and 3, really, really good. And this one was still good. It was just a bit hard for me to get into, but I'm glad that I pushed through because I did enjoy the series overall. So everyone, that is all the questions for the Fall Autumn Book Tag Challenge. I hope you enjoyed watching this and have some new recommendations to try. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.